They can't do you like I will. Nobody do you like I will.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody. It is good to see each and every one of you all. I hope that everybody is doing good If you guys can hear me, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I am going to give the early birds their acknowledgments. All right. We got Brooklyn Queen in the building. Shout out to you, Brooklyn Queen. We got Jerry Bedford in the house. Shout out to you. Shout out to my brother from another. My man, we lit. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Volvo 2 Love. Shout out to Affectionate Lawn Game. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. We got my man Lloyd Sky 9 in the house. We got Jay Bird. Shout out to Jay Bird on the replay gang and on the double ducats. Make sure you guys show him some love. Throw some flames in the chat. We got Affectionate Lawn Game being a like enforcer. Definitely appreciate it. We got Carla being a bot enforcer. Shout out to JW. Good to see you, bro. Shout out to Jay Cage. And shout out to Ty Valentine. It is good to see you guys. If you guys haven't hit that like button, make sure you guys hit that like button. If y'all haven't shared, make sure that y'all share, because if you share, it shows that you care. Volvo 2 Love says, are you snowed in today? So far, no. But you never know if that's going to change or not. Hopefully it stays like this. But a lot of times when we get a weather prediction for some crazy winter weather, it might be a day late, and then either the next day or the day after that, it's even worse than what they predicted. So hopefully none of that is the case. Hopefully it stays cool. You know what I'm saying? And we got DC Precise in the building. What's good with it, bro? So what we're going to talk about are the bus wars, all right? And the bus wars is going to be a sub-series inside of the Undocumented Bros. Why is that? Because what we have now are cities battling back and forth, and we have some lawsuits in place. All right. How many people heard about the lawsuits that are in place involving the migrant busing? Now, we knew that there was going to be punishments, and we knew that they were going to try to, restrict the busing with fines and threatening to impound, right? But now what we have are actual lawsuits. These people are in court fighting with each other, and this is going to be an ongoing thing, wasting millions of taxpayer dollars. And guess who's going to be covering it? Y'all already know. And ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you guys show some love to Jay Cage, the second stream sponsor, for the $10 super chat. He says, keep bringing the heat, Rob, bro. You already know, bro. You already know. And you know what they say, bro? Nuclear power is the cheapest kind of heat. You know what I'm saying? So you already know, bro. We definitely gonna bring it. All right. So what I got for y'all is an article from Market Watch. All right. And also gonna be doing a lot of streams today. So make sure y'all got all those bell notifications hit. Make sure you watch them all the way through to the end. Chances are it'll take you somewhere where I'm either live or just got done with some content. All right. Texas bus company sues Chicago over city rules governing migrant drop-offs. Now, do you guys remember when they first started threatening these basically sanctions on these Texas bus companies? First, if I'm not mistaken, Brandon Johnson in Chicago did it, right? Then Eric Adams did it. Now Texas is busting back. Shout out to the Shy, do or die. You bust at me, you better believe I'm busting back. You know what I'm saying? And somebody told me that there was it was actually Psychodrama who came up with that, and then Do or Die used it on the hook for that song where they went in on my boys Bone Thug and Harmony. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's what they doing up there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay Bird. Jay Bird says donations. Now, you guys know how we do. You know what I'm saying? Here at Blacklight, we ain't asking for donations, but we ain't turning them down either. You know what I'm saying? Like my man Blade said, we ain't exactly the March of Dimes. You know what I'm saying? So now here says a Texas transportation company is taking the nation's third largest city to federal court, ratcheting up a legal battle over the migrant crisis that has left U.S. cities struggling for more than a year. The lawsuit against Chicago comes amid a larger political battle involving federal immigration policy and arguments about the rights and treatment of asylum seekers. So now my question for you guys is, initially, right, what do you all see as the results of this lawsuit? Are they going to side with Chicago, or are they going to side with the Texas bus companies? If you ask me, this is going to be a long, drawn-out process. The reason why I feel it's going to be a long, drawn-out process is because the liberal judges and prosecutors, the liberal defense team in Chicago is going to do what they can to try to tie this up in court, to try to wear Texas down and make them stop spending money and resources on this. But ultimately, what I believe is that Texas will win, because I do not see a law being violated by Texas in using their bus companies to send the migrants to these cities. If you guys agree with me, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with me, give me a thumbs down and let me know what you think. Shout out to Win Loser Rug, and shout out to my man Steve Ow Holla Mac. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to St. Louis Misery. You know what I'm saying? Fellow Midwesterner in the building. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Trayvon Chapman. Shalom. What's good with it? All right. So now here they're talking about who's involved. All right. Since 2022, Texas has sent more than 100,000 migrants to Democrat-led quote-unquote sanctuary cities, as it has handled surging numbers at the Mexico-U.S. border in recent years. The state has contracts with multiple bus companies to send asylum seekers north, and recently began chartering planes. Okay. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said he launched his busing operation to ease the burden on border cities, adding that the federal government needs to take action on immigration reform. He argues that migrants choose their destinations, get free tickets, and the cities should live up to their promise of welcoming all. Now, here's another thing, right? When it comes to that designation of sanctuary city, within a courtroom environment, within a legal framework, I actually think that these cities don't even have a defense for this, because I don't know how they're going to defend themselves from Texas doing this when they're a sanctuary city that invites migrants. How can you say that you invite migrants, and then when people take you up on the invitation, you tell them, nah, the party is over, you can't come anymore, without putting in place other legislation that says we're not accepting people anymore? How do you do that? How does that work? Does that make any sense? Shout out to my man Steve Alhala. I gotta agree, bro. Make it make sense. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. It does not make sense. I don't think they have a leg to stand on in court. You know what I'm saying? Ironically, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Abbott is the one that's using the chair. But when it comes to this situation, Chicago doesn't have a leg to stand on. If you ask me, they've effectively screwed themselves. They've effectively boxed themselves into a corner that, in this situation, this is a battle that they're ultimately going to lose, especially since they've locked themselves in as a sanctuary city. How do you tell a court we don't want these migrants when you advertise yourself as a place that's migrant friendly? Where do they expect the migrants that are supposed to be there to come from? That's my question. So now here it says, but the influx has overwhelmed major U.S. cities, namely Chicago, New York, and Denver, with mayors making their own pleas for federal help. And we have some content coming on Denver, because remember, Denver not only has the migrant crisis popping off, but they have a concurrent homeless crisis. And there's been so much going on. I really apologize. I got everything ready for Box Bros. I just haven't had a chance to do the first episode, but I promise I will. You know what I'm saying? Now, that first episode of Box Bros is going to be like that first episode of Undocumented Bros Global. It's going to be long, because there's a lot of background information that we got to cover before we start hitting the follow-ups. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Carlton Wade. Shout out to John Guillory. What's good with it, bro? So now here it says they call Abbott's approach inhumane, with buses arriving at all hours and with no passenger lists or coordination, particularly for people who have already faced long, often dangerous journeys to get to the U.S. Many migrants, mostly from Venezuela, have been arriving in the brutal cold without winter coats. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but don't you think that they should have packed or something? Shout out to OG Patrice. What's good with it? So let's listen to this little clip that they decided to put in here from Fox News. and see what they got to say about it.
All right, a Texas bus company now is fighting back, launching a federal lawsuit against the city of Chicago. It claims efforts by sanctuary cities to stop the buses from dropping off migrants is unconstitutional. Kelly Saberi.
I would say not only is it unconstitutional, it also goes against their very own sanctuary status tenants. Would you guys agree? Like, this is a double negative. I really don't see a way out of this for those guys. Shout out to Affectionate Lawn Game. You like that? You like that fair use banner? That's hilarious. Oh man, you know people are crazy, man. You got to cover yourself in any way that you possibly can. You know what I'm saying?
Reports for Fox Business in the windy, cold city of Chicago on that. Kelly, hello.
Hi, Bill. Yeah, so while some sanctuary cities like Chicago and New York have filed lawsuits against Texas bus companies, now they're hitting the city of Chicago right back. This is because they've gotten their buses impounded for breaking ordinance guidelines. That includes the likes of Wind Transportation, which says it's being discriminated against for doing business with the state of Texas. The ordinance states, quote, unscheduled intercity bus.
That's interesting. So they're using a discrimination claim to say that they're being discriminated against. Man, they are really politicizing this. Now, I don't agree on the legal basis of them saying that they're being discriminated against. I don't think that if they're trying to use Title IX, you know what I'm saying, EEOC regulations or something like that, I don't think that they're gonna be able to have much luck with that offense in court. I think that they would have a better chance using what I said. You know what I'm saying? The sanctuary cities don't have a leg to stand on, and they have legislation that invites migrants, and they're delivering cargo that is migrants. So how can that be illegal? They're also legally moving within state lines, and there's no federal regulation on how the contents of the bus can be moved across state lines. Trying to bring in some type of discrimination, I don't know how they would fit that in. I don't know why they would even use that as a defense. If you ask me, see this right here, this kind of trolling right here, this is one of the keep away tactics that the GOP, conservatives, and Republicans, moderate people try to use to be able to stop Black people from being able to utilize some of the conservative policies that would be beneficial. Because I have a little theory behind that, and as we continue to talk and move into the political season, we'll explain that. But if you ask me, one of the reasons why the lead white conservatives are so racist is to turn people off from utilizing conservative policy, because conservative policy for the most part is favorable to business, entrepreneurship, and wealth building. So if you turn people away from that kind of policy and get them to vote against their own interests, and if you utilize old school tactics like racism to make people not even investigate in what you have to offer, and if you show your front runner as a cross-burning pillowcase wearing hate espouser, then people are going to be turned off before they even investigate what it is that they have going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And if you disagree, just hang in there. Don't leave. Don't unsubscribe. You know what I'm saying? As we hit these topics, let's actually discuss it. Because if I'm wrong, I got no problem with admitting that I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe that I'm wrong. I believe that I'm right. And one of the reasons why I believe that I'm right is because, as we can see, many of these Democrat policies have not only been cannibalistic as they pertain to how they affect Black people, but now the whole entire United States is seeing how inefficient Democrat policy is and how it's causing a detriment to the country. Now, if you block a certain contingency out of being able to utilize those policies, right? When I say check out conservative policies. I'm not saying substantiate Marjorie Taylor Greene when she says something bad. I'm not saying agree with Tim Scott when he says that the country's not racist. I'm saying if you actually want to get into business, explore those policies. And if those policies work for you as far as a tax benefit, a loan program, or favorable economic conditions, do a cost benefit analysis. Don't pay attention to the scarecrow in front, because the racist conservatives are scarecrows in front of the treasure chest, if you ask me. They're scarecrows in front of the treasure chest. They want you to stop when you see this scarecrow, you know what I'm saying, and turn around while they open up the treasure chest and take out all of the goods. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why people have this. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense why under these, conservative, presidents and conservative majority houses, why it seems like the economy and the unemployment rate and all of that does so much better. It's because of the nature of the policies. It's because of the nature of the policies. Imagine if you had an athletic shoe that was the best athletic shoe that you could get. It had a wonderful insole. It supported your arch real well. It supported your ankles real good. Great traction on multiple surfaces. But they had somebody that looked like Professor Klump advertising it. 9 times out of 10, you probably are not going to buy that shoe, because you're going to be like, this is supposed to be an athletic shoe. And here they got the Nutty Professor up here wearing it. What kind of athletics is the Nutty Professor doing? But then you notice that all of the winning teams across sports wearing the same shoes as Sherman Klump. It's diversionary advertising, if you ask me. And what it's time for is it's time for people who subscribe to conservative ideologies to stop being an idiot and thinking that you have to coon, and actually start explaining the benefits of why certain conservative policy would be beneficial. If you're a conservative like Brandon Tatum, or if you're a conservative like Greg Foreman, and I show nothing but a bunch of videos about degeneracy that happens in micro subsections of our community, I don't understand how that's trying to bring black people to the vote. If you got politicians sitting up there trashing Martin Luther King, I don't understand how that's supposed to bring people to the vote. The reason I don't understand that is because it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to deter the vote, because the reason why they have those people as the front people is to conserve the conservatism. And I say, nah, man, rip the can off of it and take everything out. That's what they don't want. You know what I'm saying? That's what they don't want. We're going to set a new precedent. You know what I'm saying?
Buses shall not load/unload passengers within the city of Chicago between the hours of 5:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. Monday to Friday.
Shout out to Carlton, man. Hold on real quick. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said he want Megatron to win. Oh, man. Megatron out there wilding. Man, he going to mess around and turn into Galvatron. Y'all keep playing. How many of y'all want a Megatron stream today? If y'all want to stream on Megatron, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't, give me a thumbs down. I got some content. I got a lot of content. Y'all know I got like 10 streams a day that I can do, but I got to juggle with the time that I got allotted, and I got to run some errands. So I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do. I had a couple things that I had wanted to do today. But if y'all want a Megatron stream, I definitely got some stuff on the roster for you. So if y'all want Megatron, you know what I'm saying, give me some thumbs up in the comment section. And if the moderators could put the link in there to Megatron, anybody that's not subscribed, go ahead over there and subscribe. That'd be great.
Nor at any time on Saturdays, Sundays, or designated city of Chicago holidays.
Bro,
these companies also need to.
You know what? I'm shout out to my man Robb from Denver. I'm looking forward to how to make a Raccoon Part 3 also. I'm going to give next time y'all see TD in the comment section, or next time y'all see TD go live, I want all of y'all in here to flood his comment section and ask him when the next episode of What Makes a Coon is going to be. How many of y'all down to do that? If y'all down to do that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all not down to do it, give me a thumbs down. And TD only got like 3 moderators. It's only like me, Mofax, Sincere, the Love God, and I think it's somebody else. And no disrespect to that other person, I just don't remember who it is. The mods ain't gonna stop you. So I'm giving you the invitation to, you know what I'm saying, go all up in TD's face with that question in his chat room. You know what I'm saying? And just tell him Rob told you to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what else gets him upset? The radiation emojis in his chat. That really irks him. So y'all make sure y'all do that too. Every time y'all ask that question, end it, instead of ending it with a question mark, end it with a radiation emoji. He'll flip out.
Give advance notice of their arrival. Because the ordinance is aimed at these out-of-state bus companies, Wayne Transportation's lawyer tells me this violates the Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitutions. It also targets the passengers on those buses based on their migrant status and essentially national origin. Therefore, it also violates...
Now, here goes my question. How can anything involving migrants be enforceable in a sanctuary city? So what I'm curious is, how do they plan to defend themselves from this? And I gotta agree, JW. I gotta agree. If you guys agree with JW, the question of what makes a rodent is a discussion that needs to be ongoing. Give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen for being a bot enforcer. Appreciate it.
Violates the Equal Protection Clause and the Due Process Clause. Since this is a migration issue, it also makes it a federal issue, thus violating the Supremacy Clause. New York has filed 17 lawsuits against bus...
Real quick, guys, while this is going, if you guys can smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell, hit that bell.
Companies, Chicago filing almost 100.
I'm a little surprised, frankly, to see.
Shout out to my man KO Kid Fit, man. My man KO Kid Fit been killing it with them live streams lately, man. That Charleston White Griff hitting. That Charleston White Griff hitting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. My man flexing the 3 months. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all show my man KO Kid Fit some love. And if y'all not subscribed to both of his channels, if him or the moderators could put the link in the chat to KO Kid Fit and Grind and Motivate, that'd be great. Make sure y'all go show my man some love. You know what I'm saying?
That the city has passed an ordinance which is so clearly unconstitutional, and then aggressively pursuing enforcement of that ordinance by filing 95 different lawsuits against these bus companies.
Since the summer of 2022, Abbott has sent 600 buses or so to the city of Chicago and a little over 200 to the suburbs of Chicagoland. Bill?
Wow. Looks like it will continue. We'll see how.
All right, so yeah, it looks like it's going to continue. It absolutely does look like it's going to continue. So now here it says the lack of care that has been on display for the last year and a half has created an incredible amount of chaos. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson said at a news conference with other mayors last month. New York Mayor Eric Adams traveled to Latin America to dissuade people from making the trip, while Johnson sent a delegation to border cities in hopes of improving communication. So now here's one of them. Wayne Transportation versus Chicago. The lawsuit by the Texas-based Wayne Transportation against Chicago was filed in early January, but received little attention until local media reported it this week. Governor Abbott's administration had contracted the transportation company that is based in Irving, Texas, near Dallas, to transport migrants. Now, let me ask you guys a question. As far as the value chain goes, do you guys think that Governor Abbott is friends with or friendly with the individual named Wayne, who is probably either the owner or the originator of the company? So Abbott either uses a bid contract or somehow a non-bid contract and says, I'm going to get this money to my man Wayne, and we're going to use his bus company to ship these migrants out of our city. If you guys think that that's what happened, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't think that that's what happened, give me a thumbs down. All right. Late last year, Chicago cracked down on what it called rogue buses and passed rules requiring them to drop off during particular hours in a stretch of downtown designated as the landing zone. The company's subcontractors have since been the target of more than 90 suits filed by Chicago with a potential fine between $2,000 and $10,000, said Michael Kozlowski, a Chicago attorney representing Wayne. That interferes with their business a great deal, and it's intimidating for these subcontractors who are mostly smaller operators, Kozlowski said. The complaint filed January 5th in federal court in Chicago argues that the city overstepped by regulating immigration, regulating interstate commerce, and violating the equal rights and due process of the company and the migrants on the buses. Now, as far as this goes, I don't think that this. I honestly, I think that they have a case. I think that they have a case. Oh yeah, Jesse, I can't wait. The Box Bros is coming. The city's regulations are a heavier burden for out-of-state bus operators compared to Illinois based operators routinely carrying people around the metro area, Kozlowski said. Chicago is turning its back on those wishing to travel here by enacting an ordinance that targets the transportation companies that transport migrants from our southern border to their desired destination, Chicago, in violation of plaintiffs' constitutional rights, the company argued. Now, here's my question for you guys. If Chicago is a sanctuary city and they're going to be quote unquote accepting all of these migrants, my question is, where did Chicago think that it was going to get the majority of its migrants from Canada or something? Like, where did Chicago think that the majority of the migrants were going to come from? Where did they think the migrants were going to come from? Shout out to Carlton Wade. Carlton Wade said, if we miss a couple checks, we'll be a Box Bro too. Carlton said, if Megatron don't win, we might be Box Bros. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the suit repeatedly references passengers' rights and suggests that Chicago is discriminating against the migrants by regulating bus operators. No asylum seekers are named as plaintiffs along with Wayne Transportation. So now, again, this is another thing, right? I think that they would have to, individual asylum seekers would have to name themselves in order for there to be discrimination. However, I don't know how, but they could try to prove that there's some form of discrimination against the Texas company. Now, they could possibly say that they're discriminating against the Texas company because of the cargo, which would be discrimination based on the fact that the cargo are immigrants, and that would then somehow open up a vulnerability for the EEOC law, because now that's using national origin to block out business. So this is going to be interesting. And honestly, like I said, I don't think the city of Chicago has a leg to stand on. I think that the Texas trucking companies will be able to win this easily. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to DeAndre for being a like enforcer. If you guys have not, please take a moment, hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a channel member. It's only a ducat. You know what I'm saying? Stephen D. Schwinn, professor of law at the University of Illinois, Chicago, said the absence of migrants in the lawsuit gives away the game of the intent behind the suit. Now, I don't think that's the case, right? And I don't care if this dude is a professor of law. You know what I'm saying? That just means that, he went to law school, and yes, he does have some degrees, but it's also about his understanding of the law as well. And in many cases, the law is interpreted very literal. And a lot of times people's inability to literally look at a situation or literally interpret a piece of information can cause issues, right? So now I believe that the absence of the migrants in the lawsuit gives away the game only when talking about discrimination. And they're still somewhat vulnerable to discrimination. but it does take away a big part of it. However, if they can show how the actions of Chicago, if the actions are found inappropriate, have caused damage or harm to the company's business practice, which they could show through lost revenues, I believe that they have something. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, so much of the complaint talks about the effect on migrant rights, immigrant rights, equal protection, discrimination against migrants, and yet there are no migrants as part of this lawsuit, Schwinn said. And now another thing that they can say also is that they can take this to Chicago, right, and have this case actually go down in a Chicago courtroom and say, we can't include the migrants because they're undocumented. I think that would be a viable move that they'd be able to pull. You know what I'm saying? So now Schwinn said that tells me that this is really about politics, and I agree. I do believe that this is highly political. However, Kozlowski said that the company can make the argument on the passenger's behalf. Schwinn said that the city has a strong argument in favor of regulating bus companies. Protecting new arrivals' health and safety when they arrive in need of shelter, food, and other resources the city is trying to provide. Chicago's recent stretch of sub-zero temperatures adds weight to that motive, Schwinn said. Chicago officials declined to comment on Wednesday. The city does not comment on pending litigation, said City Law Department spokesperson Kristen Cabanan. Nadav Shokt, a professor of law at Northwestern University School of Law, said Wayne may struggle to show the city is overly burdening out-of-state operators. I really don't know why they would have trouble showing that. If they show a decrease in revenues, or if they show significant harm, I don't see why that would be difficult. You know what I'm saying? But again, we'll see, right? We'll see. The ordinance is drafted in such a way that it doesn't stop you from being boarded on a bus and arriving, he said. It just sets conditions for where the buses can stop and what time of day. So now they ask the question, why now? And I want to ask you guys this question in the comment section. Why do you all feel that they're doing this now? What's you guys' thoughts? Why start doing this right now? They could have been doing this. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't. And then they decided to do it now. So what's up with the timing? Is there anything significant about the timing why they would have decided to do it now? Let me know what you guys think. The lawsuit against the city steps up the legal battle between Texas and the sanctuary cities, namely Chicago and New York. Chicago has received nearly 35,000 migrants, mainly on buses from Texas, but they have also arrived from other cities and via plane. Chicago has filed nearly 100 complaints against bus companies, impounded vehicles, and issued thousands of dollars in fines. New York City instituted similar rules last month and sued more than a dozen bus companies earlier this month. All right. So now, do you guys recall when I said that all of these cities would start to sound like New York? Shout out to Sybil and shout out to Patrick Tyler. What's good with y'all? If you guys remember when I said that all of these cities are going to start to sound like New York, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't recall me saying that, give me a thumbs down. If you don't recall me saying that, I would advise people to check out the entire Undocumented Bros replay library. You know what I'm saying? To skirt the rules, the buses began dropping migrants off in suburbs miles away from the city, also at all hours and with no warning. That prompted city suburban squabbles and a summit in the coming days between the mayors of Chicago and several suburbs. Now, I didn't get a chance to talk about what's been going on in the suburbs of Chicago, but they've been dropping these migrants off in the suburbs. How many people were aware of that? If you guys were aware that they've been dropping people off in the suburbs in Chicago, give me a thumbs up. If you guys were not aware that they've been doing that, then give me a thumbs down. And if you were not aware, now you are. Because they've absolutely been doing that. Yeah, shout out to Patrick Tyler. This is a distraction focusing on Chicago and New York. Atlanta has gotten 46,000. Just found that out last week. Yeah, facts. They sure have. And Denver's been getting hit too. they keep talking about how bad it is in New York and in Chicago. But honestly, I think the first city that's going to crack from this is going to be Denver. Denver is down really, really bad. And not really a lot of people are covering the Denver element of the migrant crisis. I've been covering it. How many people are subscribed to the channel called Undocumented? If you guys are subscribed to the channel called Undocumented, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel called Undocumented, give me a thumbs down. And if the moderators can put the link to the Undocumented channel in the chat, that'd be great. I've talked about the Denver migrant crisis on Blacklight Revelations 1 and 2, but we've gone into extensive detail about it on Undocumented. If anybody's curious about the Denver migrant crisis, I would advise you to check out the videos on Undocumented. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the governor of Texas needs to take a look in the mirror of the chaos that he's causing for this country, Johnson told reporters last month. And well, what about Johnson taking a look in the mirror and dealing with the chaos that he's caused for the city of Chicago? Yeah, facts. Shout out to Patrick Tyler. Patrick Tyler says 8 to 10 million people have supposedly come in. So where are all these people? Facts. Facts. I wish I had the answer. The healthcare system in Denver is in serious debt due to the migrants. We are going to talk about that, Ty. Shout out to Ty. That's facts. And remember, guys, if you're not part of the Discord, make sure you guys take a moment, hit that link that's in the chat and join the Discord. And if you guys see information about the migrant crisis or anything that we talk about on this channel and you think that it would make for good content, make sure that you guys either tag me in it on social media or shoot it into the Discord. If I'm not able to get to it, one of the other content creators that's in the Discord might be able to catch it and grab it, or it'll just be there for everybody to read because there's tons of news and information that go around in the Discord all day long. You know what I'm saying? And you get notifications. If you don't get YouTube notifications or from YouTube, you'll definitely get them from the Discord. You know what I'm saying? So now this is what we got to look forward to. What happens next? Chicago has not yet filed a response to the complaint, and no hearings have been scheduled. Kozlowski said that the city was served the suit early this week and has 3 weeks to respond. Kozlowski said he doesn't know of plans to file similar suits in other cities. I would hope a decision on the Chicago ordinance would spur those other areas into examining their own ordinances and making sure that they comply with the Constitution, he said. Buses keep coming daily. More than 600 buses carrying migrants have arrived in Chicago alone since August of 2022. Until Biden reverses course on his open border policies, Texas will continue transporting migrants to these cities, Abbott said on the former Twitter. We will not back down on our efforts to secure the border. And Greg Abbott has actually been not backing down. I don't know if anybody is aware, but there's an actual standoff with federal border patrol and local authorities down there in Texas because local authorities keep trying to stop Texas from enforcing their border, which is interesting. We got all of this stuff going on in you know what I'm saying, in the country, and we got basically a war between a state and the federal government going down in Texas. It's bizarre. It's inefficient. And honestly, you know, to me, that right there is the sign of a failing country. You know what I'm saying? That's the ultimate sign of a failing country. For Chicago and other cities, that has meant repeated stopgap efforts to shelter migrants, including parked city buses, police station lobbies, libraries, and airports. Johnson, Adams, and other city leaders have pleaded with their states and the Biden administration for more money. Asylum seekers, meanwhile, face a lengthy wait, as much as 2 years, for court dates in the country's overloaded immigration court system. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you all were aware. If you weren't, you are now. But the bus wars are upon us. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. Shout out everybody to the people that contribute to the stream. My man Jay Bird with the double ducats. Make sure y'all please throw some flames and some radiation emoji in the chat for him. Shout out to Jay Cage with the 10 ducats. Definitely appreciate it, Jay Cage. Shout out to my man KO Kid Fit with the 3 months of membership support. I definitely appreciate that. Do not move a muscle. This will take you right into the next scheduled live stream, which will start literally in moments. And I will see you all over there. If you're watching on the replay, I appreciate you. Please make sure that you leave a comment, even if it's only hashtag replay gang. It helps to move the video in the algorithm. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the life. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour. Got demons say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city. That's on my knee, that's on Kiwi, that's on mamas. Niggas don't believe me, come and see me. I been dodging all that fake. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Flexing for what feature, that's like every other week. Talk behind my back, I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this light. Hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey.